Laura Taja Johnson, Lyric Arts Artistic and Executive Director, and I have the privilege of having a little chat with Reese Britz this morning. Reese, how are you?
I'm good, Laura. How are you?
Good. It's always nice to see you.
It's always nice to see you too.
So Reese, you and I have a long history at this point. I've known you for a very long time.
Yes.
Would you like to talk a little bit about your history with Lyric Arts?
Definitely, yeah. So I went to school in Andover, Minnesota, which is, if you're from the area, you know that that's only like 15 minutes away from Anoka. And I remember in 6th grade, I did a show called Elves and the Shoemaker at Lyric Arts and fell in love with the theater. And then when I was old enough to audition for the summer musicals, I did. And my first one was Hairspray there at Lyric Arts, and I played Seaweed, Jay Stubbs. And it was there, just like with the community aspect of Lyric Arts, with the show, with everything about that, really, I fell in love with theater, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So I really owe it to Lyric Arts for making me realize that this is what I want to do. I was in Rent the next summer there, and I played Benny. And then I was in Young Frankenstein. And then I did the cabaret show that year too. So it's been, and then I went off to college. So then it's been a bit, but now I'm back and ready to be home.
So you're back in town, you have your degree. What have you been doing since you've been back?
Yeah, so I graduated from the University of Minnesota Duluth in 2019 with my BFA in musical theater. And I came down here and moved into an apartment in uptown Minneapolis. And there wasn't much time before the pandemic hit, but I was thankful that I was doing theater full time. I was very thankful for that. I did a couple shows at Artistry in Bloomington. I did a couple shows at the Ordway in St. Paul, and then a show at the Jungle Theater. And then that was like about around 6 months, maybe 6 to 9 months after I graduated, the pandemic hit. So then I was out of work.
Sort of bad timing for you. I mean, like, how crazy that.
I feel so bad for the people that like just were about to graduate in 2020. Like, and then they had the rest of their senior year, even high schoolers too, like they had the rest of their senior year taken away and the normalcy of it taken away. And then they had to graduate online school and then be wherever they are, and they couldn't do theater because theater wasn't happening. And I my heart goes out to them completely.
Well, and I think that, for people like us, for people like me, like theater is a part of who you are. It's
Yes.
like, it's so much a part of your soul. And then just to have that taken away, it really is disorienting.
Completely. It's honestly, I know I mentioned this earlier about Lyric Arts being my home, but theater is my home. The stage is my home. And I know a lot of theater professionals feel that same way. That rehearsal room, there's nothing like that feeling. And so to have everything that is in your life taken away, it's like, what do I do now? I'm lost. I know I had to really find myself outside of theater, which was good, which is very good. And we all should take the time away from our profession to figure out who we are. But being thrown into that rather than having that be a choice was very difficult.
Well, I know for me, it's where I've made my greatest relationships. I mean, I met my husband at UMD in theater history. It's where I've made my greatest friendships. I've made my greatest relationships. I've learned about myself. It really becomes a part of who you are. And so it's
for real.
So on a brighter note, on more exciting, positive, forward-looking things. So talk to me a little bit about New Voices Cabaret. I'm so excited about it. What kind of inspired you to submit this for our virtual theater series? What does it mean to you? What makes you so excited about this show?
Oh my gosh. The thought came to me for this show because, I mean, talking about the pandemic was really the kicker for me to get this show going. I was looking around at a lot of the theaters that were producing work, able to produce work during this time. And a lot of the people were their regulars, which is good. Like, people needed jobs. But I was looking around and I was not seeing anyone really my age working, or younger, like the young adults, young professionals working. And it I have a lot of friends that are, of course, around my age, and none of them were working in theater, and they were missing it so much. So I thought this came to me also. That's one note, and then also I wanted to, after the murder of George Floyd, I needed to find my form of protest because I didn't feel comfortable going to the going to a lot of protests. I went to some, but like some of them I just didn't feel comfortable to. I just didn't have the energy. And I knew that that wasn't how I could use my voice well enough, I guess. And so I know that theater is my life. So I want to create a show or a platform for BIPOC, BIPOC artists in town. Not only, but majority. Yes, I wanted to create that for young BIPOC artists in our community. And so when Laura, actually, you reached out to me and was like, hey, would you like to submit anything? I know you're in town. And I was like, yes, I would love to submit something. And it was just perfect timing because I had this idea. I didn't know where to produce it. And then you reached out, like it was like God sent. And I was like, this is where it has to be, at Lyric Arts, my theater that I grew up at. And I'm bringing in these young artists and BIPOC artists to the Lyric Arts community as well.
Well, that's what's exciting to me about it too. And like I said, mentioned when we first started talking, I mean, I've known you for a long time now. And so it's really exciting for me to watch artists that I have known for a really long time, especially that I knew when they were young, begin to come into their own and to re-meet them as adults and see them as adult artists. And that's, I mean, a little selfishly kind of fulfilling. It's a really
Totally.
good to watch that, to watch people be able to develop like that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the New Voices Cabaret? What is the structure? What is it going to look like? What are people going to see?
Well, I can tell you, you're going to see some very, very talented individuals. I mean, we just had rehearsal last night and I was just blown away. I know I picked these people, but I was still blown away by the level of talent that is in this cast. And most of them haven't been seen yet by this community. And that's a shame, in my opinion. I am a huge, huge fan of all of them. And that's why I picked them. I've either worked with them before or just seen them work on stage. And being able to pick them and be like, I see something in you and I want to bring that out and showcase the community because the community needs to see you. What you're doing needs to be seen. And so the New Voices Cabaret is a showcase of these young artists' voices and doing what they do best, and that's performing. And you'll also get a glimpse of who they are, what they do, and just, I honestly, truly believe that you will all become fans of them like I am. I'm one of their biggest fans, and I'm excited to see that their fan base grow from this community.
Yeah. Well, I know that we've talked about one of the things that makes me really excited is not only are we giving these artists a showcase and letting the world see, giving them a greater audience. I'm also so excited that we are introducing a whole group of new artists to Lyric Arts. And so I'm super excited to bring a whole new group of people, invite a whole new group of people into our little family.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think my final question is, what's your big pitch? Why should people, now that we're starting to be able to do things outside of the house, why should they watch one more virtual show? What are they going to miss if they don't buy a pass to this show?
They are going to miss extremely talented people with so much heart. Also, these artists are bringing in pieces that are new to the community. Some of them aren't. Some of them have been done in the community, but there are some musicals and monologues that I have never even heard of before that they're bringing to this stage. A lot of the stuff that they're bringing to is by BIPOC artists as well. And so we finally get to hear those voices amplified on a stage. And you're really going to miss out on that opportunity to hear the heart and the voice of these individuals.
Reese, again, I'm so excited. Lyric Arts is so excited for this cabaret and to have you a part of it. And I just want to thank you for taking the time, and thank you for continuing to be part of the family.
Always, anytime, Laura. I love the Lyric Arts community, and I'm so thankful to be back.